Probably here. Okay. So generative AI in hospitality. How is it transforming the sector? What does the future hold for hotels, resorts, and travel experiences in the era of generative AI? Today, we delve into the heart of these questions, exploring the challenges and opportunities that AI and large language models bring to the hospitality sector. As we stand at the forefront of this technological revolution, it's critical for business leaders and industry professionals to understand how generative AI can reshape customer service, management efficiency, and the overall guest experience. The insights we gain from today's discussion could very well be the game changers in the hospitality industry tomorrow. To explore the fascinating intersection of AI and hospitality, I'm joined by Haitham Abdel Baki, a seasoned professional with over than 2 decades of experience in the hospitality sector. Haitham has held pivotal roles with leading brands like Millennium, Jumeirah, Intercontinental, and Marriott Hotels and Resorts. He is now the managing director of Digit Ulcer, a digital consultancy where his extensive experience continues to shape the future of hospitality in Dubai and the MENA region. And um, and now, my friends, let's welcome Haitham Abdel Baki. Yes, okay.
Thank you, first of all, Naja, for having me in this call. And it's my pleasure to be with you and discuss this interesting topic, which is evolving big time in the world and in the region, especially. But just first, as you said, let me introduce myself. Thanks for the lovely intro as well. Indeed, I've been in hospitality for over 20 years, and this is my main major, which I studied, and I paved my way, all the way up in the ladder, and worked in different functions across the hospitality industry until I found myself a decade ago, very much interested in, as you know, also the digital trends, which was evolving big time at the beginning of this decade, and then I deep dive further, and then I started different roles across different functions in the companies I worked for, most recently in Jumeirah and Millennium. And I held, leadership roles, pivotal roles, and then until I recently, left my last role, Millennium, and then now I opened my own company, Digitizer, which is a digital consultancy, as you said. Also, my enthusiasm for this, have made me deep dive further and then learn more about the dynamics, and the latest trends and the insight, inventions, etc. in AI, because I thought like this is where we're heading to, not anymore in the future, but in the present, as AI continues to dominate, our life and work. So today, we'll talk more about all of these. Points that we are going to cover in our call, and through my experience also in hospitality, especially over the last couple of years, where I started to develop further, and particularly Gen AI or generative AI, which has transformed the world. Since just a year ago, if we all know, as we all know, ChatGPT was, announced and declared to the world, and since then it's taken the world by storm. We all know how, since last year, ChatGPT and other companies started to develop as well similar LLMs, or large language models, such as conversational chatbots and other stuff, and they started plugging in gradually, into different functions, exactly. Now, speaking
Absolutely.
to,
We're going to
sorry.
cover a lot more and in a lot more in details as well. Um, I just want to share with the audience
Sure.
what our agenda for today looks
Absolutely.
like. So, for you joining us So basically, we're gonna start with tackling the challenges of generative AI in the sector of hospitality. Then we're gonna look at the opportunities that it presents. And then finally, we want to talk about the rapid advancement or the rapid deployment of this technology in the MENA region. And then finally, we're going to look at the future trends and what the future look like. And then we ended up with question and answers with our live audience. So if you're watching this or watching us live or watching it later as a recording, so feel free to put some comments and chat with us and ask some questions and let us know really what do you think about AI in the hospitality sector and what are some of your thoughts on that subject matter. So so now I want to know more about your background and tell us about this new exciting adventure that you started the digital ulcer or the digital
Uh,
you would
yeah,
pronounce
actually, the name itself is inspired by AI. So that's why if you notice that in the name, actually, it's called digitizer, but instead of the I added a. So of course we all know that the proper word is digitizer with I only, and then to make it more relevant, to the trending AI topic, or the AI hype, in the world. So I just added a and then make it AI standing as capital letters, like or uppercase, and then as a creative, design of the name. So it's called digitizer, and it's related to all the or managing, and handling all digital strategy related, consultancy management for digital marketing, e-commerce, social media, analytics, etc. uh, so it's
of
just, the beginning, and then still working on finalizing, the setup and moving forward. So thank you.
what we aspire to. So now let's talk about the challenges of AI from what you've seen in the last year. And tell me first, which I like always to ask my guests, the first question I like to ask them, when you first when did you first stumble on ChatGPT? What was your first reactions when you start, working with ChatGPT? And tell us more about like, okay, what are the challenges of you think of bringing this technology into the field of hospitality?
Hospitality, yeah, absolutely. That's a very good question. But let me first congratulate you as well, Naja. I know you are also been working hard on your own company, and you're doing a very good job. Honestly, I've been following you and your interviews with many really high profile guests. Honestly, which is a great honor. I mean, to watch and listen to their thoughts. I mean, this is thought leadership, you're hosting, and very very insightful conversations you're having. And plus also I would like to emphasize on the what do you call the slogan, or the what you mentioned, the singularity syndicate. This is very interesting and very aspiring. I must say, very aspiring, because I think you are already there. I mean, although we all know, like, to reach a singularity stage or phase, I mean, there's a long way to go if it ever happened. If it ever happened, which I had some doubts about it, but I mean, it's a very aspiring, to reach that stage. So yeah, I mean, anyway, congratulations again, and well done. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. But we will talk about this also later. However, let's first, of course, just to answer your question, I'll start from the end. We know when I first stumbled into ChatGPT, like everyone else in the world would, like, I mean, of course, this is whoa, but at some point, like, it's a bit shocking, and you have some mixed feelings on all. I mean, is this good? Is this scary? Is this what, So, like, your first impression, your first reaction, and then at some point, I was like, when we all started, because the entire world was somehow, woke up, like, we slept overnight. We woke up the next day on a very transformative, technology, apart from what we've been already experiencing as transformative technology, which is called artificial intelligence. But this Gen AI is something beyond, I mean, imagination, for the many things, as we all know, in terms of efficiency, speed, uh, tech savvy, etc. But at some point, for me, I'm not usually very much amazed, with technology, because I've learned, maybe because I've been working in this field for more than a decade. So I learned to take it easy, and see what are the consequences of any technology or any new invention later on, so. But if you are not in the field, yes, you might be scared, like the world's reaction was like, oh, what's this, I'm gonna lose my job next day, this is going to replace many things, etc. So for me, I knew that this is going to be, it's going to have, many upcoming developments, and the aftermath, of what we say. And at some point there will be more competitors, and this maybe it's going to be, let's take the positive side about it, with before panicking, and having this technophobia, unnecessary technophobia. And that's what happened. And later on, we started to see that this technology is actually, is working to benefit us, to help. Yes, it has side effects, like any technology, like any AI, precisely like any AI technology. But it's not going to be an enemy, for human. I mean, I think if you know how to leverage, although it's not there yet for me, it's still, by the way, it's still a baby. I mean, Gen AI is still a baby. We did not
Definitely.
reach the full potential yet. There's huge potential coming, and they're working on it, in the coming, not, we can't say anymore, in the coming years or months, in the coming moments, because it's that fast. However, to relate this to our topic, I mean, Gen AI in the region here started slow, like any technology, except, let me say, UAE, Dubai, Saudi now, who are leading, in terms of tech adoption and tech exhibitions and etc. We all know here there's a huge global, or the world's now called the world's largest tech show, which is Gitex, as you know, Naja, and I think you've been to it before.
Definitely, yeah. I've been to
And
China.
Leap,
Right.
and also the recently launched Leap in Saudi, which is also a massive. I mean, these are great exhibitions that someone, could learn a lot from, inspire, and also see what is trending, many interesting insights, etc. So this is, somehow motivating companies, and also hospitality in particular, to see that the technology should be uh, our friend, not our enemy, if we know how to leverage it properly, although some people
I
consider
like
it as, yeah, that,
Yeah, I like what you said first about technophobia. I feel that a lot of people have this perception of AI as the enemy or the devil was going to come, and I think
yeah,
probably Hollywood is to blame. A lot of these Hollywood movies portray AI
agree,
as the demon or something that's terrible, where in fact this could be the most advanced and the most impactful thing on our quality of life. I feel that we might be it's part of the human evolution, so we might be taking humanity to the next level in terms of productivity, efficiency,
sure,
as well as the quality of life. Like if you can replace, I mean, I'm already building a lot of GPTs that are speeding up my life. They are increasing my productivity, my efficiency. I don't have to do a lot of tedious tasks anymore. I'm implementing a lot of automation into my workflows. So personally and professionally, this technology has been a blessing. Technology has been awesome in all sites and forms. And what I'm offering as Parrots Lab and eventually our team is to help clients and organizations leverage this technology to boost their productivity, innovation, and competitive advantage. and and we can do that by streamlining the processes, training the staff and employees on how to use these tools, because it's so overwhelming. Like every day there's a new tools coming out, there's new systems coming out. So I think people like me and you, probably Haitham, are working hard into absorbing and studying and learning about
Yeah.
all of these stuff so that we can help clients in the future to simplify and really solve their problems, basically. So you talked about GITEX and all the tech exhibitions in the region. Have you seen any like, I remember when I went to GITEX, there was an early sign of robotics. I remember, like, from GITEX, I've seen a lot of robots hanging out there. In the recent years of GITEX, what have you seen in terms of AI in the region?
Indeed, I mean there are a lot of robots now and robotic services, etc. And but the good thing is that we still don't see any robotic attendees. So, and this is the good sign that AI or robots are not controlling the world yet. The moment I start seeing robots as attendees, not just display, or exhibitors, then I might get scared, that I'm having, we're coexisting already, with robots, and so basically there are more human attendees. So this is a good sign that the human numbers are increasing. That I mean the attendees, the visitors, etc. But just to answer your question, the main theme of GITEX this year, what it was? It was the year to imagine AI in everything. I
Wow.
mean, very bold, big title. I mean, I love it. I love the theme, and then there was also some other sub themes, and subject related to this, and of course, in addition to what do you call seminars, and workshops and conferences, etc. In the event itself. So this is a great, I think, promising, also theme, which telling everyone is that if you are not yet up to date with what AI is doing and transforming the industries all, then you're left behind. Then you are going to be left behind, and you're going to struggle later on to catch up, because the speed of the AI transformation and digital transformation is now faster than ever. It's ever evolving in a way that even us, as you said, we're probably updating ourselves, not even every day, every hour. I go, and see what. And I feel sometimes if I don't do it for a few hours or one day maximum, or over the weekend, I feel like I'm way outdated. So it's so. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to deep dive in everything, but at least you have to have a quick update, generic information about the topic, because information is going to be too much for you to absorb and handle later on. So just to go back to our subject about the challenges of AI, the challenges here in the region, Naja, is that the is about the perception, and this is related to the culture, that everything usually is slow here when it comes to technology adoption, because people maybe they are concerned, they are afraid, they are and plus also from the owner's perspective, hotel owner's perspective, maybe because maybe they are all, I don't want to say like maybe old school or old fashioned, but their generation, is different, than Gen Z and millennials. I mean, the mindset is different. They're still probably living in a way that maybe they still would like to read a newspaper, and a newspaper, not a digital newspaper. And they feel like, I mean, which is fine, I mean, every era, every generation has their own time. But that's why when you come propose something to them, the first thing they ask you here, is like, I mean, okay, what is the ROI? I mean, how much money I can get from this? What is the revenue, that this tool or big investment, is going to generate from it? Of course, it's difficult to quantify at the moment, because we are still in hospitality. We are still in an early stage, I mean, or in the early stages of, adoption. So we're not there yet. That's why it's difficult. You don't have historical data. You don't have any insights or analytics to support your case. You're going to come and put projected ROI or ROAS or whatever, I mean, revenue you could put there, because some of this technology is not related to direct revenue generation. So you cannot quantify. You cannot come and say, if I implement a chatbot, or implement, AI in what do you call, let's say, in security or maintenance or rooms, or or anything, or if I hire a robot, how you can say, oh, this robot, is going to generate me that much, and then I can calculate the return on investment in a what do you call, a time frame or timeline, like let's say in 6 months or 1 year, or so it's difficult to come and present to them, tell them, this is important for you because this is trend and this is where the world is heading, in a fast pace. This is still a challenge here. Now we're getting there. Plus, also, hospitality is very human centric. We all know it is customer service. So you still have to maintain the human touch, right? Although we can see many now hotels in the world, especially in Japan, it's fully robotic. And there is no human element at all, and some are partially robotic. So it's you're served by robots, and this is not a concept anymore. They are physical hotels, and some people they like it. Some people they don't like it. And here in the region, because hospitality is a major part of our culture, and as I mean, we in the Arab world, we care very much for the human element in hospitality by talking to a person, to a human being, being feeling, the emotions, the feelings, the human touch, So that's what we like. That's how we are raised. That's in our values and our traditions and our culture, and this is something which we should keep. I mean, for example, I'm never say never, but I don't like, for example, to stay in a hotel fully robotic. I'm not against it, but I still prefer to talk to humans. Use the technology where I need to use it, where it's applicable, where it's feasible, where it's efficient. But I don't like to speak to or deal with robots wherever I go, in the hotel.
Yeah,
Yes, there are some.
I'm glad that
Sorry.
you mentioned um, I'm glad that you mentioned the human element, and because I remember when because I lived in Dubai, I lived in the Middle East, um, pretty much all my life, and when I moved here to the US, even like I'm here in California, which is pretty advanced as a state. I spent some time like on the road, going from one city to another, doing some road trips and doing and going, of course, into hotels. And I remember the experience. It's completely different. Like Haitham, if you come to the US and you experience hotels here, they are so different than what we experience in Dubai. And to be honest and fully transparent, Dubai level hospitality is
Yeah.
way above in at least the hotels that I've been to. And of course, I haven't been to the extremely luxury five-star hotels, but I've been to similar level hotels in Dubai, and the amount of the differences is very clear that Dubai really cares about the experience, the human element, and all of that. So again, my experience is not probably an indicative of the whole industry, definitely not. But I witnessed that. But going back to the challenges, so you mentioned that the challenge is basically a mindset. A lot of the leaders in these industries, they have a certain set of beliefs about how the world look like and how the world should be like. And it's really hard for someone who have built his entire career on being a leader in the hospitality field, believing in the principles that made them successful, and then all of a sudden, you and me going there and pitching them to change.
Yeah.
I totally agree with your perspective that I think there's an important role for change management, and for us to be able to show leaders in the field what the potential and the opportunity is. And this is heading us to the next section. But before, I also think that there's security risks and security issues that are preventing also hotels and resorts and travel companies to adopt fully adopt generative AI. So, could you tell us more about the risks?
Sure. And by the way, I know what you mean because I've been to U.S. hotels across different states and cities, and I agree with you. Dubai has raised the level high, and raised the bar, in service and luxury. And there's crazy, and massive investments here in Dubai and in the region also. Saudi now is also on the way to massive projects like Neom, etc. Which is, by the way, they are embracing and adopting a lot of high tech, which still some we know, some we don't, because the project is still in progress. But it's amazing what they're doing there. So just back to the risks, I mean, yes, the main, also one of the risks is related also to the same thing, which is the mindset, and here people are still concerned about privacy, and because here privacy is more conservative, in our region, and I'm still talking about our region, so the audience know that I'm in. Based in Dubai, and I was regional head for Middle East and Africa region. So that's why we're just trying to remind the audience, that we are talking more about Middle East region. But I've traveled the world, and I can also discuss this through my experiences in different cities and hotels that I've stayed in as well, because I always also ask and learn and research, across any thing I come across, in the world. So the risks are related to privacy. Privacy is a major concern here, as you know. It is a conservative culture. Somehow it's changing gradually, but it's still, so people sometimes don't like also to their information, their data, their identity, etc., to be exposed, or especially sometimes all of us, even you, I mean anyone now, with the recent also buzz about the privacy breach and user protection laws and all this GDPR in Europe, many things have been also the talk of the town, especially after many big companies, big giant tech companies have been fined, like mind-blowing numbers, as you know, like Google and Meta and Amazon, you name it. So privacy is a big concern. This is the risk where this is where the risk jumps in here, especially if you are talking about online or digital, because anything now, if you notice anything, whatever you go online, if you want to subscribe, register, the first thing they tell you, cookies, like
Yep, I hate
cookies,
those.
everyone hates it, I mean, we're talking about no, we don't want cookie lovers to hate us. We're not talking about the edible cookies, we're talking about the online cookies.
Definitely.
Everyone loves the other cookies, but we're talking about the online cookies. So basically, this annoying sentence that's, and before you had an option, if you notice, whether to accept or no. Now it's like accept or accept, yes or yes, it's like take it or leave it, and if you click on manage, you can't manage much, so this is the thing. And now in 24, hopefully, the cookieless world for first party data will come, and this has been postponed big time from the previous couple of years, and they keep pushing it further, first party cookies,
Absolutely.
and
So,
digital marketing. So
yeah, so
privacy
I
is one of the risks, I think, that's going to be a major thing. And now I talk sometimes to guests, and what we get feedback also from guests is that about data, personal data, and why we have to register. What are you doing with this data? Are we safe? Are we secure? Like those concerns, which is normal, of course, for anyone who is going to be exposed, to such things.
right. I just wanna make sure that we sum up the challenges factor. And from my perspective as a professional that have been following the field very closely, and I have connections within the hospitality field as well, I have found out that there are like three major issues when it comes to AI adoption. Number one is what you mentioned about the mindset and the change that's going to happen. The number two is about data breach. We have recently seen the MGM group have experienced a huge hacking or data breach, and their system completely shut down for a few days. And MGM is so big here in the US, especially in Vegas. There's a lot of hotels and resorts that are, and they are like premium hotels and resorts, and the data breach is cost them significant amount of money, but more importantly, the damage on the reputation is the big thing. So you've got
and
the
and the,
data
and the
breaches.
consumer data and the consumer privacy, like this
Oh yeah,
breach. I mean,
absolutely.
this information
And then
was leaked, was exposed, and what is I mean, if we talk about this data, what is this data? It's a people's data, I mean, like, it's like you, me, for example, our data, we don't know where it was breached, where it went, who is using it. You know what I mean? This is okay. The companies, they're concerned about the breach and the money and the privacy, security, etc. But at some point, there is also this data of the people who stayed there, or dealing with MGM in a way or another. So
absolutely. So yeah, companies are concerned about that, and at the same time, companies are also concerned about the copyright issue. I've noticed a lot of companies are worried, like, what if the generative AI generate copyrighted text or copyrighted images, right? So they are afraid of like the potential lawsuits. We've seen a lot of lawsuits coming around from artists and authors and all sorts of different things, because these language models, they didn't take any permission from anybody to train their models. So these models are being trained on you and me and millions of other people's data that they put on the internet without any permission. So there's still skepticism about the future, the legal matter of the whole thing. Although in the recent OpenAI Dev Day, Sam Altman mentioned that the OpenAI is willing to cover all the legal expenses and legal costs that services like ChatGPT might uh, incur for businesses, and they also released an enterprise solution for ChatGPT. So this is the area where I can, and me and you could, with our respective agencies, could help clients navigate these things. For example, what is the enterprise solution, why it's important, how we can use it, how we can adopt it. And this leads me to the opportunities here. And I want, like, in terms of opportunities, how do you see hotels and properties in the hospitality field benefiting from generative AI?
that's a very good question. I mean, because the opportunities, there's a myriad of opportunities. I mean, when it comes to hotels, and because it's a customer centric, service. There's a lot that you can do here, and then of course streamline, many processes, including of course the efficiency, cost cutting, competitiveness, etc. And also security, maintenance, many things. So especially for example, hotels now are focusing more on chatbots. How they can embed or integrate, generative AI or conversational, chatbots into their customer service, for many reasons. Of course, to first of all, to optimize the customer service, give more options also to customers, and also efficiency, to release also a lot of work from off their employees, and make them focus on what matters most, which is personalizing services to customers, etc. Instead of just wasting their time on this admin work and just replying basic conversation requests, which can be done by a robot instead, or a chatbot. So efficiency is key, and on top of this also there is the cost cutting, as I said, because this can also reduce the workload, and therefore the manpower or workforce. And also in operational level, I think there are many opportunities related to, for example, reservations and revenue, which is, by the way, partially used, if you want, because revenue systems and reservation systems and forecasting systems were using this, but it wasn't called AI, or people were not referring to it as AI. Because what is AI? I mean, AI is data feed. right? So you're just feeding or training a transformer or any system with data. So for me, if you're the informal definition of AI is data feed. So basically, systems were there. They were fed with relevant insights, and data, etc. To generate, forecast demand, adjust the pricing, project, of course, dynamic rates, accordingly, and also the available inventory, etc. So basically, this was there, but now AI, what AI did is just it optimized, I mean, the entire process, and made it more accurate, more efficient, more, I think, streamlined it in a way or another. So that's why revenue reservation systems, now are powered by AI, and the good thing is that hotels can't, of course, operate without suppliers, right, or partners, strategic partners and suppliers or vendors, you name it. So the good thing is that suppliers are also on the other hand, they are working to develop also, and make sure that they are equipped, with all what it takes, to update their systems with the latest technologies, to make sure that they serve their customers or clients, which are hotels, and as I said before, when we were talking before, you and me, I mean, about the uh, for example, the service travel providers, or service providers, related to travel, like online travel agencies, such as the likes of Expedia, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Skyscanner, you name it, all those, most of those, if not all, have already plugged in with ChatGPT or similar, products, to service the clients, with or the customers with the best, in class, travel related service, and also answer any queries. As you said, you can now basically find a link on Booking or TripAdvisor, Expedia, whatever, that could, you just one click, and then it can help you plan your entire trip from A to Z on a click of a
I
button,
want to
which used to before. And this is what's now also we're benefiting from this, that we work closely with all those third parties or online travel agencies. However, we don't try to give them everything, because we pay high commission, so we try basically to drive more direct business. That's why hotels sometimes they lag behind when it comes to investing in their own websites, unlike the big players, like Marriott or IG or Hilton, etc. Core, those companies, they are injecting a lot of money, to invest in direct business, because they know, that OTAs charge a lot of commission. So, and but the most important thing is that to have those chatbots, to have this technology, integrated into your own website, as I said, to enhance customer service, efficiency, generate more revenue, and make sure also that you do use this data analytics, powered by AI, to customize and personalize the service, to your future or any existing customers that you got them usually. Most important is that AI now, predictive AI in analytics, is another also important point, is that you it can help you to customize, and tailor services to your current and future customers, without just sharing bulk or blanket offering. So this is very important. Personalization is key now in customer service, especially in hotels, unlike a few years back, when we used to like just share a bulk or general offers. Now you can target the right user at the right time for the right product to deliver the right ROI, all of this through AI, and technology.
so I'm trying here to, if to imagine myself or
Yeah.
imagine the audience that we're talking to. Let's say we're talking to some, like a hotel or a resort, a CEO or CMO, or these people. So if I want to tell you, um, Mr. CEO and Mrs. CEO, what is the low hanging fruit that you can use generative AI in your business starting tomorrow? It will be, as you mentioned, Haitham, it will be chatbots. So, I loved what you said about the difference between the marketplaces and their own website, the property's own website, because hotels have suffered a lot because of their dependency of on third party marketplaces like Expedia and
Absolutely.
Booking.com and what, and not
And
only
still,
because they are still suffering
exactly, it's a long lasting dilemma,
yeah, not only because of the high commissions, but also because of the lack of direct relationship. And this is getting more and more very important for hotels and resorts. So what I'm trying to say here is the low hanging fruit is to for hotels and properties to re-own this relationship with their customer, reinvest in their website. And now there's a golden opportunity that these websites could have by implementing, and this is what we do at Paris Lab. We help clients implement LLM powered chatbots that are trained on your own data. They are trained on all the information about your hotel, all the information about your resort, all the information about the restaurants you have at the property, all the added value and the perks and the amenities that you serve your customers. So you could take all of this data, train a dedicated chatbot, inject your brand personality, inject your brand values
voice
within
and value.
the style of this chatbot, and now you have a conversational agent that is probably better than the best customer service you have. Maybe that's a big claim, but you have an agent that knows your product, that knows your brand, and available 24/7 all the time to handle all sorts of customer inquiries with natural language. So the low hanging fruit here is the chatbots, but there's more. So what are the things that you think more than chatbots?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, also there's in when it comes to revenue and reservation, you have this revenue analytics, tools which can help you analyze, this data, because the moment it's like it's a sequential, process, so related to each other. So when we plan in hotels, we plan from pre-arrival, arrival, post-arrival, and so on. So it should be a 360 comprehensive, strategy to make sure that you are, covering the entire customer journey. From the moment before they arrive to you and until they become regular or loyal customers. And if they are loyal, also there's a different strategy and so on. So very important that you also so if you invested in a technology, that can help customers book you directly through your website, you need to make sure also now that you analyze this data later on once, because this customer is yours now. What are you doing with this data? How you are also making sure that you maintain, because customer retention, is very important, and it's also equally costly to keep this customer, and make them loyal. And then, because if the customer acquisition, is key, but retaining the customer is even more important, because if you lose them, they will not come back. They might not come back to you. Especially here, the competition is fierce to an extent that everyone, including big players, global players, are doing everything it takes, to and the key here is customer service. There are so many here luxury hotels, and so what makes you choose between one another? So customer service, personalization, tailoring, as I said, using AI powered analytic tools, sure that you are targeting the right customer with the right fare or rate, meaning pricing strategy, and also offers, and also don't bug them, with unnecessary things that they don't like they used to do before. To receive annoying emails that is not relevant to you, and until now we still receive it from many companies, by the way, hotels or not hotels. And this is the first thing you do, is that you delete the email. Second time, you might unsubscribe immediately. So that's why you need to make sure to personalize the conversation as much as possible through those tools. Also, another point, when the guest is in-house, what you're doing. So AI here, or Gen AI also could play a major role in the internal communication, of the. So you could also communicate to customers inside you, promote, many things, cross-sell your restaurants, upsell, your current room category, promote, the hotel products and services, etc. Why like you don't leverage this technology? Like before, the receptionists used to come and say, oh, we have amazing restaurant, here, specialty cuisine, Lebanese or Mexican, and why don't you try the spa? Why don't you go to the creation? Now with AI, it's seamless to an extent that, on a click of a button, you could just simply have this save time, and then efficiency, and reduce the workload, as I said before, on your current staff, and make them focus on something more relevant, more important, and more efficient. So there's a lot of things
On
to do.
this
And by the way,
point,
we started using this, in this technology, slowly but surely. In my last hotel, we worked on this project to make sure, that we kind of integrate, those internal hotel services to give the customers this seamless experience. Uh, and many other
on this
things, by the way,
point,
finance,
I
for
just want to
example, as well. Yeah,
sorry, sorry to cut you. I just want to
no, no,
add
no,
on
sorry.
this point. I just want to add on this point. I want the audience also to imagine. Imagine you're going to this new hotel in a new city that you are totally unfamiliar with.
Yeah,
And imagine this hotel tell you like, okay, sign in to this personal concierge AI assistant. So, and this is something that we can build at Parrots Lab. It's an AI assistant that will act as your personal concierge. Anything you need about the hotel, how to
amazing.
even the
That's
entertainment within the room, like you can tailor it and they customize it to the person, to the guest. And then this chatbot, it will recommend what are the favorite restaurants, what can you do with your time during your stay, how you want, even if you want to order room service, you can order it all through this chatbot. So just imagine how much saving you can get from and how much you can improve the user experience by having to deal only with like one interface, one, instead of like picking the call and calling and all of that stuff. And so now you have one point of contact that has everything you need in your stay. So that's just one example of how you can, as a hotel, boost the guest experience and bring it to the next level. And then at the same time, I want to talk about the operational, and you mentioned this as well, the streamlining the operational processes. So
absolutely.
generative AI can, if you add to it a lot of automation tools, you can make very lengthy processes streamlined, automated, that will save a ton of effort and make your staff focus on, as you said, Haitham, what's so important is the personalized and personal experience from your staff to the guests. And then the staff, instead of worrying about all of this other stuff, they can focus their attention on serving the guests.
Absolutely. And speaking, by the way, of what you said, Nacho, it's a very important point about like integrating the ChatGPT, and customizing through a customized concierge. It's also imagine that the time now it's way less. I mean, the processing, the setup time, it's also reduced. And so AI technology is not only help the operational part, but also the setup, which the time frame is now reduced big time, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. So if you want to now, for example, come to Parrot Lab and tell them, hey, I want you to integrate this, customized concierge. Uh, it doesn't take much time like it used to take, for example, a few years ago, right? So just you need to connect to the hotel data and right, and get the necessary information required, and then you're all set in. And this before used to, I think, cost more in terms of time and money, etc. Right?
Absolutely. And to add to this as well, in terms of leadership, I mean, you've been a leader for a long time for many big brands. So when it comes to decision making, like imagine you're like the CEO of a property, and you have a lot of pressure to produce a lot of decisions. And now with the help of generative AI, you could put all the data into your own personal GPT, let's say, and then train it on all what you the criteria that you make decisions on, and all of the stuff that the way the values and the principles of your leadership style and stuff. And now you have a GPT dedicated for you as a leader. And now if an issue happened with an employee, or if you have any major decision that you want to take, now you have a consultant, you have a personal strategist, a personal assistant that is trained on your thinking process. And now this agent could help you make better decisions. So we're talking about improving the overall decision making, not only for the leaders, but also for all the people in the property.
True. Yeah, I agree. However, I'm again, you know, one of the downsides also of generative AI or technology in general, apart from the concern about job loss, and which I think so far we did not really see it, honestly. Just minimal, still minimal. I mean, minor. So it not reach. I mean, I know that they're saying it's not now, it's coming, but probably by 2030, and so on. But I think AI is also, on a side note, also creating more jobs, But I mean, I think we should always, no matter what, as I said before, we should always still, even if we have those trained transformers, etc. We should still, maintain our depend on our own talent, skills, leadership, mindset, etc. Because in a way or another, forget about losing a job or not. It also you might become lazy. You might become inefficient. You might become, in a way or another, very much dependent, and you might impact your own built-in skills and talent, and leadership that you also acquired through the years. So we have to be careful here. To make sure to tell the audience, yes, this is important. Yes, this is a trend. This is forward, etc. But at some point, make sure that you stay poised, and you don't become too much dependent. On it. It's our call. It's always our call. AI will never dominate the
Definitely.
world. AI will never dominate the world. AI is created by humans, and at any point we can simply unplug it. I mean, there's no risk
Definitely.
for. But just
So
one more thing.
personally I have
But yeah,
Sorry, personally, I have GPTs that I am beginning to train. So I'm building my own kind of empire of different agents that I train on what I see the world and how I see the world, and now these agents, they help me a lot. Like with this planning for this podcast, I have a Singularity Syndicate podcast agent that is trained on everything we do here on the podcast, and this agent surprisingly performs so much better than your regular ChatGPT, because this agent has been trained on all the episodes we've done before, all the style, all the mission statement, all the data. So, and of course, when it comes to major decisions, you are talking about an assistant or someone who's giving informed decisions, informed data for you to make the decision. So, I agree with you. Definitely, we shouldn't be blindly whatever the AI say that we have to do. And this is like completely ridiculous. But what we need to do is consult, just see what the AI
yeah,
is doing. A lot of us, we are humans, and one of the problems with the humans that, and we have emotions, and emotions could play a bigger role in decision making. And the beauty about generative AI is that it will give you an objective decision. It give you like what emotionless decision. And a lot of times, what leaders need is emotionless decision. They need the rational, pure rational decision making. And I think this is the value, and a lot of organizations are not leveraging it. And as you mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, you mentioned that people who are not really looking into ways of integrating AI into their operations are very soon going to be left behind. People like me and
Yeah.
you are going and talking to clients and talking to people in the field, and we're trying to bring them on board to leverage these technologies. And these clients are going to see rapid growth. They're going to see major improvements in efficiency. They're going to see amazing even innovation. I'm sure that you can talk about also like sometimes creativity happens by merging different ideas and different data points. And I think, with generative AI, we would still see a lot of creative outcomes if we prompt it correctly. So what do you say about that? Have you been experimenting with, ChatGPT and the way it produces creative outcomes?
Yes, I've been not only with ChatGPT, by the way. I mean, you know that there are now some other important, also equally important LLMs, or large language models, like ChatGPT, and they are produced by big, also giant tech companies like Google. Google Bard. I don't know if you've been using Google Bard,
Definitely.
and also Lima 2
Well,
from Meta, Claude 2,
mhm.
Lima 2, and also recently Mr. Musk's, he also joined the party
Grok.
with,
Grok.
Gork.
His AI
Gork.
is called
I
Grok
don't
or
know. I didn't
something.
like the name, but huh?
Yeah, Grok, his
Yeah,
name.
I
But
don't know why it Grok. I don't know what's right, Grok or Gork. I didn't like the name. I didn't say it's relevant, but we all know. I mean, he always surprises us, with the things that we get to understand probably later. I thought it's gonna be called Gork X, or Grok X, because X is everywhere. So, or
definitely.
just GX, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's one more added. There are plenty of, uh, but however, I like more ChatGPT. I like Bard, and Bing also, but Bing is more, I think backed or supported by ChatGPT, because it's and it's now offered for all Microsoft Outlook users, and who buy the pack anyway. So my thought, I mean, I try not to depend too much, but as you said, as a consultant, as a tool, it's always good to check. But what I do, I always analyze, and then sometimes I don't use at all the entire, prompt generated, content. Sometimes I, take what I want, or I tweak it, according. But I never copy paste, and this is what
Oh,
people need to
definitely.
be careful, because remember, after all, yes, it's infinity of data, but we started to see some repetition. I mean, as we were saying before, this should be used to streamline repetitiveness, okay, repetitive work for employees, and make them take this away from them and make them focus on efficient task. However, we started to see some repetitive content on, for example, LinkedIn. You start people putting, for example, similar prompts, and you start seeing similar words, because you get what, one, two, three, four drafts, five drafts, and then people are using. So how many times there are hundreds and thousands maybe of similar subjects or captions have that those people used ChatGPT or Bard, etc., to generate such content. What prompt words, I mean, like, you just play around with it, but at some point, if you need a promotion, or a caption about promotion, or about a new role starting, or whatever, etc. So this is going to be limited to. Now we see similar words, similar content on the, and this is you have to be careful, especially ChatGPT 3.5, the default version, which is limited to September 21. And this is because many people don't want to pay, for, although it's not very expensive. But
They have recently launched GPT-4 Turbo that is updated till April
yeah,
2023. So now ChatGPT is
yeah,
just at this time, or in history, like we at this date, we don't know tomorrow what's going to be like, but today ChatGPT, especially for Plus members, is up to date till April 23. And they also launched the GPTs, which is custom built GPTs for your own data, as well as the Assistant API, which I'm working on integrating it into Parrots Labs website. This is going to be like a demo for future clients to see what AI is capable of. So I'm doing it on Parrots Labs website first so that I can show it to clients. And then from there, we could talk about how we can do the same to their own websites. I just want to give them I'm sure we're gonna, we are crossing the 1 hour line, but I want to talk more about future predictions. Especially, I want to give you like some things that I've been thinking about, and you tell me like, what do you think? But imagine, like we talked about, like we imagined a personal concierge as an AI. But imagine also an AI that can read people's emotion via their face. So I know that a lot of properties have cameras everywhere. So imagine the facial recognition used to read their emotions, whether they feel happy with the service or not happy with the service, happy with the interaction of with the customer, or not happy with the interaction. So imagine those technologies being implemented, and how much we can improve the customer service and guest experience. Another great use case for AI within the hospitality field will be language translator. So imagine, people travel different countries, they visit different cities, and there they go to different hotels. So imagine when you're interacting with a hotel, a guest who is coming from a different country, using different, and their language is different from the service providers in the hotel. Now AI could be linked to your glasses and your wearables, so the customer service agent could interact with their guest in their own language without even need to know the language itself. So AI could facilitate that language translation and bridge that language barrier between a guest and the service provider. And then finally, I want to talk about the interface, the interface of your website. So now we're all familiar and we're all used to the graphical user interface, which is the point and click graphical interface. So in the future, and this is my master's thesis, is supports the idea that in the future websites, they're not going to be graphical user interface, or they're not going to be built on graphical user face primarily. Just like the recent trend before AI, when we build websites, we used to call mobile first, because why? People are using their mobile to access these websites. So it makes perfect sense for web designers and web developers to design the website with mobile first in mind. And now with this current shift, what we're seeing is that, okay, now what I propose and what Parrots Lab is all about is to design websites with conversational user interface. What that means is that the website become an agent. So you basically talk to the website with natural language. You visit a website and you don't need to scroll and move your mouse and click on different links. You don't need to scroll and touch and all of that stuff. So now websites could be agents, could be AI agents that you can speak to even with your natural language, whether with text or with audio. So this is how the future of websites is going to be. This is what Parrots Lab is all about. We are creating conversational agents for companies and for websites to help them to help them go into this new era, a new frontier of interaction with their guests, and giving them the best user experience. And we hope that, if you're listening to this, you could, sign up for his free strategy session, and let's talk about how we can help your business and transform and blend AI in.
I agree with you, and I had this also noted down regarding what you said. I agree with you. Facial recognition is already used across from the check-in check-out process, also the entering the room, paying the bills, etc. So imagine now it's this seamless process, without any human interaction. How is going to transform the entire? It's expensive. It's still also not there yet. It's in early stages of implementation, but it's getting there. But again, remember, this is also part of the concerns related to privacy or data in the region here. I'm talking, for many other reasons, and it. So not all people like to, have this iris scan or face recognition data stored, in the hotels or the company's servers. So something also interesting, by the way, is the security. So now also companies and some big chains started to implement this. That they can also, based on the hotels sensors, for example, the AI, could also predict, any danger, any hazards, it's coming, and then they can avoid it from happening, before it occurs. So it could also enhance the security and safety, of the hotel, and also finance as well, through many predictive through predictive technology, predictive data, and so on. So what you said also about the web and other stuff, I think we already crossed the time, but I mean, there's a lot that we could cover and talk to. Maybe we could do another episode in the future, and then talk about each technology in each, because the hotel, it's a travel industry or hotel industry, but at some point, if you think about it, it's many industries in one industry. You have the you have the rooms, you have the finance, you have the security, you have the maintenance, you have many things, many aspects. So that's why I think, here, the hotels could benefit a lot. It's gonna take time, it's costly, but on the long term, it's definitely in their favor, as long as it does not breach data. And to wrap this up and to conclude it, hotels, should not be afraid. Should take that risk. Should and then the bold decision. However, as I told you, there's still that concern about privacy, cost, also data breach, etc. But I think they should be. We should take this step forward, because as long as it's also helping hotels to generate more business, more revenue, especially direct business, and because this has been a major challenge, and I think now Gen AI could be a solution for them.
So we have a comment and question from in the chat, and JF says, "How far do you think we are from voice-driven translators?" I think we've been. I haven't followed personally this specific technology for a long time, but all I know is from the recent ChatGPT updates on mobile apps, especially for Plus members. You could basically speak and speak to ChatGPT, and it will converse to you back pretty seamlessly and in the most beautiful natural language, as if like you're talking to a person. And this could be, you could tell it like, talk to me in Chinese, and the ChatGPT immediately translates itself to Chinese and starts speaking to you in Chinese. It's pretty incredible how far and the capabilities of these models have evolved dramatically, and now we have great capabilities in place, especially for hotels who wants to leverage this kind of technology. So thank you, JF, for the question. And with that being said, I want to thank you, Haitham, for your time. This has been an incredible conversation. I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties that you faced, but it has been fruitful. I'm sure that the audience have seen gained a lot of insights and information about what they can do with this technology, what are the risks, and hopefully we can have you in the future. So for another podcast for sure. So yeah, any final words before we go?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Any final words?
Sorry, the line's breaking up, but it's okay. Let me just wrap up and yeah, my final words. First, and it was indeed an incredible, lovely conversation. We covered many things, and I hope the audience liked it. And we tried to cover up as much and answer as many questions. We are available as well to also answer any uh, question up later. My contact details on social media, and also I hope they enjoyed it, and then we will hopefully could have probably more sessions in the future, and then talk about more upcoming technology, which is evolving as we speak now. So thanks again, and yeah, cheers.